Parent24 has just conducted their first ever Kids Nation survey to find out what kids in South Africa are really up to. Joining me in studio is educational psychologist Annelle Annandale and Parent24 editor Scott Dunlop. Now they're going to tell us what we should be taking away from this survey. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks, Jay.
Now, Scott, before we get into the actual results of the survey, can you just tell us kind of what the motivation was behind the survey and what you guys hoped to achieve?
Sure, it's called the Kids Nation survey, but actually we obviously spoke to parents online via their mobile phones or their computers, and we produced certain questions we thought would give a bit of insight into the lifestyles of parents and kids locally, find out what the kids are interested in, what they're eating, how they're spending their time, and in order to better provide information to parents to help them parent their kids better.
And now, I mean, this is the first time Parent24 has done something like this. Is this something that's more widely needed to know kind of what's going on with kids in the country?
Without a doubt. I think it's so important for us to be able to see where we are, where we're going, what are we doing right, and there was a lot of that came out. But where can we improve as well?
Now, there were some things that I thought were quite notable and a little bit funny and interesting. But Scott, I'm going to ask you first, what statistics stuck out for you?
I think what stuck out for me is the contrast in between certain things, say the food section that we had. On the one hand, you've got parents that are obviously keen on having their kids eat vegetables because that's what we all know is right. But on the other hand, you also have a lot of parents who are still giving their kids fast food a certain amount of times per week. And there's obviously a bit of tension in lifestyle that we run out of time. It could be that parents don't have the time to go shopping and buy the necessary fresh ingredients to make meals every day. So I think there's it reveals that parents want to do the right thing, but lifestyles don't always match up to that desire to do that.
And now, what stuck out for you?
I think there was quite a lot, specifically in terms of the big discrepancies in education as well that we saw there. The way that a lot of parents felt about teachers, for instance, that teachers don't get high enough salaries. And yet, one of the things we know is a problem in this country is that there's not adequate support for teachers. So a lot of those discrepancies that we have to find a way to actually bring the two together and make it work.
Well, we're going to touch on both of these topics a little bit later on. But I mean, I think what most of the media picked up on yesterday was that the majority of children surveyed thought that Spider-Man should be president over Jacob Zuma. I think that, I mean, why not, right? What does this say that, I mean, Spider-Man and Tinkerbell were the two top characters or people that they looked up to. Does that say anything, that they're picking fictional characters, or are they just being kids?
Kids are kids, I think. That's the main thing. I mean, if you ask the parents, that their perception might have been different, but kids will always be kids. They're saying sort of child-appropriate things. Yeah. Unless there's a lot of political discussion in the home, they're not going to really be aware of the bigger issues.
Politics.
They know Spider-Man, and that's who their friends know and their classmates. So that's their frame of reference.